So, friends, did you hear that Attorney General Pam Bondi is now saying that judges are, and I quote, deranged? Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glennkirschner here. Well, friends, we now have an Attorney General, the head of the United States Department of Justice, demeaning, degrading, damaging our constitutional order of government. We have three co-equal branches of government, but she is disregarding the balance of power between and among those three branches. And Bondi's reckless assertions have the effect of damaging the people's confidence in the judiciary, but what she's really doing by talking about deranged judges is she's destroying the legitimacy of the very department she heads, the Department of Justice. Let's start with the new reporting. This from the Washington Post. Headline, Pam Bondi's striking comments on arresting judges. Amid criticisms that the administration is intimidating judges, the Attorney General didn't exactly downplay the idea that this was part of a larger crusade against the judiciary. And that article begins, the Trump administration's brash moves to crack down on illegal immigration entered a fraught new phase Friday, with the FBI arrest of a local Wisconsin judge who was charged with obstructing the arrest of an immigrant. This is, needless to say, a significant escalation of the administration's efforts. Anytime you are arresting judges, you enter yet more constitutionally dicey territory, with the administration already flouting and resisting judges' orders. And the backdrop looms large here. The administration has, in recent weeks, ramped up its attacks against who it labels as radical activist judges who have ruled against many of its immigration actions. In actuality, several of the judges have been Republican and even Trump appointees. But in some of its first comments about the situation, the Trump administration didn't downplay the idea that this was connected to its broader crusade against the judiciary. Attorney General Pam Bondi actually seemed to lean into the idea that this was part of the larger pattern of judicial wrongs that the administration now seeks to right. Her commentary is unlikely to temper fears that the administration is trying to send a message to the other judges who would stand in its way. Appearing on Fox News, Bondi discussed the Wisconsin case and another in which a local New Mexico judge resigned after a man the government has alleged is a member of a Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, was arrested at his home. But rather than focus on those two cases, Bondi repeatedly talked as if they were part of a broader problem with the judiciary. Quote, "What has happened to our judiciary is beyond me," Bondi said. She suggested these specific judges were deranged, but then again connected it to a supposedly larger trend in the judiciary. Quote, "I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law," Bondi said, and they are not. Crucially, that kind of rhetoric echoes what the administration has said about other judges whom it alleges are usurping the president's foreign policy powers. It has sometimes suggested the judges have virtually no place reviewing its deportation efforts. Top administration figures have called them, the judges, things like rogue and radical judges. Bondi has called them, quote, low-level leftist judges who are trying to dictate President Trump's executive powers. Elon Musk and Stephen Miller have gone so far as to label legal pushback against their policies a judicial coup. Wow. Our nation's top law enforcement official, Pam Bondi, she's in some pretty good company when she is spewing out the same kind of garbage as Elon Musk and Stephen Miller. You know, friends, if mainstream media, corporate media, cared to take Pam Bondi to task when she spews this garbage about, judges who are ruling against Trump being deranged, they could ask her questions along the following lines. Attorney General Bondi, you say that these judges are deranged, judges who are ruling against Donald Trump. Let me ask you about some of those judges. Judge John Coffenauer, who was appointed by President Ronald Reagan. Judge Coffenauer ruled that Donald Trump's executive order trying to revoke the constitutional guarantee of birthright citizenship is, quote, blatantly unconstitutional. Is Reagan-appointed Judge Coffenauer deranged? Before you answer, let me ask you if Judge Harvey Wilkinson is deranged. In your opinion, he was also appointed to the federal bench by President Ronald Reagan, and he is the one who said in the Abrego Garcia case that if Donald Trump and his administration can unconstitutionally deport Abrego Garcia, then they can unconstitutionally deport American citizens, and they can unconstitutionally deport Trump's political opponents. Is Judge Wilkinson a Reagan-appointed federal judge? Is he deranged? Wait, don't answer just yet. How about Judge Trevor McFadden, who ruled that no, the Trump administration cannot ban reporters from the AP, the Associated Press, from White House press conferences or events? Let's see. Trevor McFadden was appointed by Donald Trump. Is Trevor McFadden a deranged judge? Don't answer just yet. Let me ask you about Judge Terry Doughty. He's the judge who, in recent days, said when the Trump administration deported a 2-year-old American citizen, it was very likely in violation of that 2-year-old's constitutional due process rights. You want to take a stab at who appointed Judge Doughty? Donald Trump. Is Judge Doughty deranged? And if so, Madam Attorney General, why is Donald Trump appointing deranged judges? Madam Attorney General, you're the one who's coming across a bit deranged. And you're damaging the legitimacy, the Americans' perception of the legitimacy of both the judiciary and the executive branch, the Department of Justice, both branches of government. Friends, given her behavior, Pam Bondi is not worthy of the office of the Attorney General of the United States. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.